Okay. Welcome everybody. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah? Oh, brilliant. Okay. Excellent. I know a few people are missing today, one or two due to illness or whatever engagements, etc., etc. So thank you for your feedback. And I think they were overwhelmingly positive. And there were actually quite nice suggestions as well, quite good. And few people said, asked, when are we going to do a reading on the sutta? You know, sutta reading. That's exactly what we will be doing very soon, you know. And few people ask about dictionaries. I have few, thoughts for you. I thought it would be a really nice ritual to start with a little chant, well, recitation. How do you like that? Let's see if we could actually make this a ritual now. Yeah. Okay, so each of you will have to do the recitation. Let's see who is going to be volunteering today. It is very simple. Salutation to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and then Buddha Anusati, Dhamma Anusati, and Sangha Anusati. That's all. Yeah. This I took it from this is actually a book, chanting book by Samatha. Do you remember our Samatha friend, Keith Manning? So
Yes.
they do actually very nice Samatha chanting. So quite a nice collection. So, you could actually download the PDF. It's really nicely done. Okay. Any volunteers for the recitation?
Well, I can try. I would just ask you if you could make it a little bit bigger.
Okay. Okay.
It's hard to read. And also, well, the melody, of course, it will, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Okay, brilliant. Would you like to try the Buddha Anusati as well? Or would you rather somebody else do it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I can try. I like to practice, but I will just do it without melody because otherwise it's too much.
No problem. Yeah.
Iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho charanga sampanno sugato lokavidu anutaro purisadamma sarati sattha deva manusanang buddho bhagavati.
Wow, that's good. Brilliant. So if you want to do it in a melody, there's an echo coming in. You could do something like this. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarathi Sattha deva manussanang buddho bhagavati. Yeah, so you will get used to some melody. Okay. Dhammanussati. Julie. Yeah.
Oh, it's
you will
very
do
good. Okay. So can I just improvise with the melody then, or is it a certain
choose?
way?
Yeah, choose your own. Choose your own.
Okay. Svakato bhagavata dhamma sandithiko akaliko epasiko opanaiko pachatang veritable vinyuhiti.
Oh, beautiful. That's lovely. No, excellent. No, that's exactly right. I mean, you develop your own style. It is an expression of faith, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Would you like to try the last one as well?
All right. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho naya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho samichi patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yatidang chatari purisa yogani atta purisa puggala esa bhagavato savaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakineyo anjali karandeyo anutarang punya ketang lokasati.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. Actually, there is a bit of a mistake here. Karaniyo. It's a little typo here. This has to be Karaniyo, Niyo, not Karaneyo. So that needs to be corrected. I didn't notice that. A lot of people actually make that mistake. Anyway, so, and I think, over time, it is good to, just, memorize or chant a couple of times. And that way we could, it's good to, get into a rhythm and practice. Yeah. Excellent. No, thank you, Julie. Well done. You are just out from retreat, are you? Yeah. So that is excellent. So yeah. Last time we had a little discussion. I mean, later on we will be actually, addressing your requests. Like, we'll be reading some sutras and so on. So, and thank you for all the input, and feel free to just drop me a message if you need anything. I was going to actually show you few resources like a Pali dictionary. I mean, there are a lot of dictionaries available. But it's good to use some standard ones like Pali Text Society, which is called PTS, is one old one. Actually, Rhys Davids, William Street. So they put this together, quite an old one, but actually quite good. This is the guy who actually translated sati as mindfulness, So this is not a really bad. I mean, it's a lot of hard work has gone into this, but it was Rhys David. We have to blame for translating sati as mindfulness. Yeah. So I would actually just translate it as something else. So what would you translate it as? Any if you were to translate SATI, sati?
Do you want one word or several?
Well, just go on then. Tell me all the different words.
I'd go undistracted awareness as a simple one.
Oh, that's a good one. Undistracted awareness. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any more?
Recollection, maybe, as part of
Yeah.
the meaning.
It is actually, it has, sati is it has a bundle of meanings. Yeah. So recollection. Yeah. Any more?
Attention.
Attention. Yeah. Exactly. Now see how difficult it is to translate. Julie.
What about sati? Like not translating it, since it is so complicated to do so.
I think that's a brilliant idea, because this is exactly what, some of the Pali words you really can't translate. I mean, dukkha being one. And the other day we talk about papancha. You know what happened with the papancha? These Tripitaka translators came to discuss about what is an appropriate, singular word for papancha. And they were looking, Sinhala is in the same family as the Pali, and then what they did was they, I think I was told about 200 monks went on a weekend to a retreat, just to discuss what would be an appropriate translation of the word papancha. Guess what happened? They came back with the same word. they couldn't find an appropriate translation. And I don't blame them, actually. Yeah. Keith.
I thought you were going to say they came back with 400 options.
No, you could do that, but I think it is just because the living languages have this meaning contours and nuances which do not necessarily capture the exact meanings of those words. I mean, take dukkha, for example, dharma and karma, or, whatever. I mean, I think that this is exactly why we learn Pali, to develop that sensitivity, and really learn more about the facets of meaning. So I find a lot of English translations are quite odd, to be honest, So yeah, mindfulness. So the important thing to realize is attention, memory, awareness, mindfulness, all of that what would be a discernment, what would be another one word to capture, encapsulate, all of those meanings, which is not easy. And the word mindfulness is horribly, I mean, it gives a really wrong, I would say, that destructive awareness sounds pretty close, because, and then the other thing is, it tells you something about very worldly, the lokia, I am here now sort of thing, which is kind of the opposite of what it originally meant. Anyway, yeah. So the translation is not easy at all, and the Pali, dictionaries therefore tend to. I mean, Monio Williams, and I have nearly about 6 dictionaries, and I'm using, but I would say, they and like English, it's a kind of a lingua franca, and it has taken words from different sources as well. So that's another difficulty. Yeah. Okay. Julia.
I just wanted to say that I think in the words like that, we should remember many meanings, and I also think many definitions should be stated in dictionaries, because it's not like translation is really meaningless because we need it to understand it without knowing the language. So maybe the more words, the bigger picture we can see from different.
Yeah. Did I lose you? Yeah. Yeah. But the problem, Julia, problem is that, whenever you have a word, I mean, usually we popularize, we prefer one meaning to a one word, and then it, we go on using it, and that's problematic. I mean, there's also literal meaning versus literary meaning. So the literal meaning is actually the bare bone, meaning of a word. Literary is a contextual meanings, and we'll have a look at some of those. So there are many translation issues. So this is exactly why we need to learn Pali. So don't rely too much on dictionaries either. Trying to use, I think, the intuitive awareness would be the right way to go by. Okay. Okay.
Can I say, I'm really with Julie, in that some of these words we probably ought not to try and translate. But even if you need several pages of explanation behind them, I mean, if I take a parallel, I do some Chinese energy and health practices, and they've got a word qi, which is roughly translated as energy. But if you gave me 2 hours, I could fill it trying to explain the nuances of qi. And so, maybe some of these, you just accept that there are a few milestones at least. I mean, almost every word probably falls into that category, but there are going to be some key ones, and I think I'm with Julie, I think probably you ought not to translate them, but give lots of pointers as to what they really mean.
No, I do agree, and I think that really shows awareness of that. That is absolutely right. And the other thing is, there's something called diglossia. In language, something happens, diglossia. Are you familiar with the word diglossia? Diglossia is 2 forms, like a formal or informal, or colloquial or literary. Now, every language has these diglossic features. Now, in some languages, like, it is more diglossic than others. Now, say, for example, in Sinhala language, it's like two different languages. You know, written language is completely different from the spoken. You know, if you speak written language, they laugh at you, you know. So diglossia, because the reason was that at some point, I mean, with some languages, their writing gets disturbed. And then later on, you look at the word and the, you know, language has evolved, but the writing hasn't. So this sort of a dichotomy, or this sort of a, you know, branching off is called, in linguistics, it's called diglossia. So that is also part of the problems with Pali. And this is why we need to actually go back to the sources and try to learn the word meaning and the contextual meaning of the words. Otherwise, we miss the meaning entirely. Yeah. So we will vote for Julie for today. Yeah. Okay. So Atamitra was going to say something.
Well, I have a question. It's just a question, because I heard that the English word mindfulness didn't exist before it was more or less invented as a translation of sati. Is that, do you know about that? Is that true, or?
Well, I don't really know. I mean, you know, people use, you know, be mindful, or do you say cognizant? I'm cognizant. I'm mindful. I'm, you know, people use the word, but not in this particular, you know, meaning. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, what happens is when the words actually take on you know, the meanings or the, I mean, what this is what is called idioms. You know, idioms. You know, the idioms are those are actually you know, specific words actually acquire certain set of meanings, and then it becomes like fossilized, you know, for one, you know, concept sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I mean, it may not have been as common or just used as one simple, you know, used as a word to describe a particular type of practice. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was writing an essay about mindfulness, a paper,
Yeah.
and there was a woman, exactly, I forgot her name, but she came up with mindfulness in the 19th century. So, and it wasn't before used. I'm
Right.
sure
Okay.
about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and she came upon this word in the contact with sati?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, folks, moving on. I'm mindful of what you are talking about. And any questions from our notes from last week? Anything you would like to, you know, query before we start today's one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question about you write behind the Four Noble Truths.
Yeah.
You write between brackets Chatusatya.
Oh.
Is that the Pali? Does that mean the Four Noble Truths, or?
Yeah, hold on. Let me yeah. So let me just get to that. Okay.
So it's on top of the notes that you sent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Four Noble. Okay, I said. Oh, actually, Chatu Satya. Actually, it should have been Chatu Arya Satya. Yeah.
Okay.
It's my error. Arya Satya. Chatu, yeah, Chatu, you know, Chatu is four, Arya Satya. Yeah, people call it Chaturarya Satya. In Sanskrit, Chaturari Satya or Chatu Arya Satya, 4 noble truths. So Pali word for that is now Chaturari Satya, Chatu Arya Satya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I have a following question about that, because
Yeah.
one of my, I would say, colleague order members, he thinks that it was better translated by saying these are the insights of the noble ones, the 4 insights of the noble ones.
Oh, right. Insights of the noble ones. Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, I think that's a paraphrasing, a way of paraphrasing it. Yeah, it is definitely insights of the noble ones. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would fully agree. And now, can I ask a question then? Now, looking at the 4 noble truths, now we are having, I mean, this was my question from the very beginning. When I looked at the order of the 4 noble truths, you know, you have the dukkha, dukkha arya satya, and dukkha samudaya arya satya, dukkha nirodha arya satya, dukkha nirodha gamini patipada arya satya. Yeah. Now, usually people actually identify this as the dukkha is the problem. Yeah, issue, problem, and the cause of the problem. You know, solution and path. Yeah. Now, you know, have you thought about why the order is as it is?
Well, I have also learned or heard that this formula is taken from the medical world, also in that time. So that you have, the first is sort of the saying, but this is the disease.
Yeah.
And then you look for the cause of the disease.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a sort of a vision of the nirodha of the disease, and then how the medicine to the disease, and that the Buddha used this already existing formula to shape his sort of vision in.
I mean that's one one explanation given, but the problem is you know, I mean, you know, how could one arrive at a nirodha? I mean, that would be an speculation at best, isn't it? If you just put the nirodha before the magga. Yeah. So, I mean, ideally, I mean, if you say 1, 2, 3, 4, the last one should really come before the you know, third. I mean, you know, third, it should be the other way. 1, 2, 4, 3. Yeah.
I don't agree, actually, to be honest, if I may say so.
Yeah. Why don't you agree? Why?
I think you have to have a vision, even if it's not complete.
Yeah.
To get a sense, to know where you're going to before you can actually formulate the path towards it.
Yeah.
So if you formulate the path before you know where you're going to, there is no direction to the path, if you see what I mean. So in terms of the Buddha, of course, he saw the truth of the cessation of suffering, from which he formulated the path. So in that sense, it does make sense to me, let's put it that way. But I'm open for any
So you first have to know the goal, right? Like know that you want to cease your suffering, and then you know to follow the path.
Yeah, I mean, one question then is, what if that destination you postulate was wrong? I mean, this is the biggest problem, because see, a lot of people postulated. Now, see, even those who went to the Brahma realms, formless Brahma realms, postulated, and they were completely off the view that what they attained was nirvana.
Yeah.
And they call it nirvana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think there is no specific I say order in which you, so you have to, I think you have to see it as a whole.
Yeah.
And of course you can only see the truth of the cessation of suffering once you have followed the path. Huh? So
yeah.
So I think it works together, and yeah. So the one can't do about the other in a way.
Yeah. Keith was going to say something. Yes, Keith?
Yeah, I basically go along with that. The order is not that critical to me, once you've said what it is, because the way I'm looking at it, if it's medical, you go to the doctor. This is not an experimental process. He is telling you based on experience. So he could say, you've got a broken leg, do this, and then he can explain why afterwards. I mean, the order isn't that critical once you've got the diagnosis as to what the issue is. You know, you've got cancer, right? Take this chemotherapy. Then you can have a whole explanation as to why what you're taking and what the prognosis is. So you can put it in any order, in the sense of consulting an expert.
Yeah.
If you were trying to do it experimentally, on as you went forwards, then yes, there's probably a logic to it. But going to I don't think that's critical.
Sure. Yeah. No, that is absolutely right. I mean, but it is not critical at a theoretical level. But what the real question is practical level. Now, theory and practice. Yeah. Julie wants to say something.
Yeah. Well, it just reminds me of the Zen perspective. So why don't I just, for fun, give at least the Zen perspective that I receive, which is that we start with enlightenment, and then we practice gradually. We cultivate our existence in daily life. So the enlightenment comes first, and then there's the path, you could say.
Yeah.
So,
no, I can definitely go with that. That is actually, that's the trick, because it is that realization and also look at how the path is expounded. The Sotapanna. The one who is Sotapanna, one who actually like when before you get into the bus, the train or the plane, you need to know where you are heading. Yeah. If you don't know your destination, probably you may be going in the opposite direction. Yeah. And this is exactly why. I mean, out of the tea, I mean, the reason I'm asking this question is there's a really cute little hint. Sariputra, Venerable Sariputra, he did a little commentary on it. It's called Patisambhida Magga, where he gives a really good explanation. Out of the four, which one is really central? Yeah. Mikhail.
Well, I'm not sure if I have answered to which one is central, but I was thinking that if we first notice dukkha and then the cause of dukkha, then by understanding what is the cause of dukkha, the cessation of it is natural, because if you understand the cause, then you can understand the cessation. So I think the order works, because by understanding the second, the third comes by itself in a way.
Yeah. No. I mean, that is Mikhail, that is the natural process. But this is exactly what the Buddha challenges us with. He says, you don't know dukkha. That is the problem. The reason why, the ordinary worldlings do not, find a way out is because they don't have a good understanding of dukkha. If you understand the dukkha, you understand everything. Yeah. So the Four Noble, I mean, what is the Samadhi, right view? The right view is that understanding of dukkha. So which means actually ordinary worldling has no idea what dukkha is. That's the problem. And it is called dukkhe jnanam. Dukkhe jnanam. The right view is the knowledge of the dukkha, our understanding of the dukkha, the cause of the dukkha, and the cessation and the magga. So it is only when you attain the right view, you actually understand Four Noble Truths. Until such time, your understanding is just not noble. It is just truths, four different truths. This is the difference according to this explanation. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to impose my. I mean, this is something I really I read in the Patisambhida Magga in the commentary. The Sariputta, Venerable Sariputta, he says one really does not understand dukkha. Because, we understand dukkha dukkhata. Dukkha has actually three different types, isn't it? Dukkha dukkhata, viparinama dukkhata, and sankhara dukkhata. Yeah. So dukkha dukkhata, of course, a lot of people, I mean, it is pretty awful outside, London today with the weather, and that brings suffering to some people. But that is not actually dukkha that the Buddha is talking about, isn't it? So, anyway, okay, Athamitra.
Yeah, but isn't he talking about all sorts of dukkha here? I mean, I think the strong thing about the Four Noble Truths is that he speaks to what every human being experiences. Every human being experiences dukkha. And he sort of, he shows the way out of this dukkha.
Yeah.
So,
and the problem is, Atami, the problem is every human being, every being experiences it, but every being doesn't know it. That's the problem.
No, but that's because of that's where he sort of tries to go to in the rest of the truth, I think. Yeah. But anyway,
okay, great. I mean, I'll reveal to you what I read in the Patisambhida Magga. It's the knowledge or understanding of Nirodha, the third one, which actually lightens or enlighten everybody. I mean, all other three, unless and until you hit Nirodha, you have no clue as to what the first, second, or even last is. So what is, this is Nirodha Jnana. The Nirodha Jnana is so crucial. And this is where sudden, realization comes, as Julie said. You could actually improvise it by saying, oh, we already are enlightened. That may be a kind of a statement, but Nirodha Jnana, and this is what I mean. This is why the reason I'm actually questioning is in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, little down in your notes, the Buddha makes actually a really interesting remark. He said, let me get to that. What does he say? Okay, this is it. He says, I mean, this is a brand new revelation. This is a brand new understanding. Pubbe means before, ananusutesu, unheard, dhammesu. In dhammas, Chakkung udapadi. You know, Dhamma, I arose in me on something that I had never, known before. Yeah. So, and that's the turning point. That's the point of departure. Like a lot of people think, oh, okay, he was doing this meditation for 6 years, and as a result of that, he attained the enlightenment. No, I mean, it was a complete shift. And that is that, Pubbe Ananusutesu Dhammesu Chakkung Udapad. And that was the Nirodha Jnana, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so any more questions from my notes? And I'm just I just actually put these notes here and there, not really in any particular order. Probably it needs to be properly organized. And one thing is that, perhaps in our Pali class, some key words about the key teachings, that's actually something that if I were to give you a test, I would actually, homework or any test, I would say, okay, some keywords like, see, a lot of people use like, chatu satcha. Buddha never talks about chatu satcha. It's a chatu ariya satcha and dukkha ariya satcha, dukkha samudaya ariya satcha, dukkha nirodha ariya satcha, dukkha nirodha gamini patipada ariya satcha. Now that emphasis is really important. Yeah. And that's why I just put this Pali words, Samadhi in the Eightfold Noble Path. So perhaps knowing Eightfold Noble Path in Pali. Yeah. Yeah. Can you say Eightfold Noble Path in Pali?
I think path is Magga, if I'm right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, noble is Arya, but the eightfold sort of is. Yeah. Flipping
Dukkha, yeah, this is the full name of it. Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada Ariya Satcha. Which is shortened as a Magganyan. Yeah, Magganyan. The understand knowledge of Magga. Yeah. But when you actually use this right view, I mean, I see the word again, the problem is right and wrong. People actually use different translations again. Some people say Samma. Samma cannot be translated because right is not a proper, right is not the right translation. So some people say authentic or wholesome or different translation to the word Samma. Yeah. So Samma. So Samadhi. Now, when you are doing the chanting, you say Samadhi, Samma Sankappo, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammantu, Samma Vayamo, Samma Ajivo, Samma Vayamo, Samma Sat, Samma Samadhi. 8. Now, why have I actually included 2 more? Yeah, yeah. So now these actually, when you practice the Eightfold Noble Path, you are completing the last two. Yeah. When you are in the right, say Samadhi level, even your Sammajnana is completed 25%. Your Samma Vimutti is completed 25%. So in proportionate to your practice, this is in the Majjhima Nikaya 117, Chattarisaka Sutta, Maha Chattarisaka Sutta, where the Buddha explains how you actually fulfill, complete the process by actually completing the Sammajnana, right wisdom, right insight, right liberation, Samma Vimutti. So dasa angehi samannagato ari. So he says Sekha attains only 8. The Aseka has 10. So for the Aseka, after completing the practice, it becomes all 10. Yeah. Okay. Are you all with me? Any question?
Yeah. Can I ask about this Lokia versus Lokuttara version of this?
Yeah.
So the mundane view of right is trying to find this right versus wrong. So is the Lokuttara the one where I would sort of say the right view is one which leads to the cessation of dukkha? Is that the sort of thing?
No. Mundane view. I mean, I think you may have to read this Mahachattarisaka Sutta to get a really full meaning. But basically what he says is...
Sorry, is that 117?
117, yeah, 117. So there he says, Samadhi is of two types, the worldly one, Lokiya one, and the Lokuttara one. The Lokiya one is actually, accepting good, something good, because, without accepting good and bad, right and wrong, your mother and father and society, then you can't progress. It's like when you build a pillar, you first have to have a cover. Yeah, concrete. You can't put a concrete pillar without actually putting a temporary cover. You put the cover so that thing can hold. But once you have established the concrete pillar, you're not going to keep the it is called lintel or something.
Shuttering.
Yeah, what is it called?
Shuttering.
Yeah.
So the whole of concrete, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is, people actually fell into the other side of the spectrum because they say, there's nothing called good or bad, right or wrong, blah, blah, blah. So that put, throw people on the opposite side. And the Buddha said, no, you have to obey the rules of the world and accept the good and bad if you want to progress further. Yeah. And that's the right, right view, worldly or Lokiya and Lokuttara. And the Lokiya one is again, not the right one. I mean, compared to the Lokuttara, again, it's a wrong view, but, it is a springboard. It is useful and used for a higher purpose, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Are you with me? Arthamitra. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Well, what's the higher view? The Lokuttara.
No, the Lokuttara right view is the Four Noble Truths. That's where, you know, when you have the Lokuttara right view, it says dukkhe jnanam, dukkha samudaya jnanam, dukkha nirodhe jnanam, magge jnana. So the Lokuttara, that is exactly where you know what suffering is about. Before that, you were talking about worldly suffering. You didn't know anything about the formation, this how the suffering, you know, is formed. Sankhara dukkha. You know, the one who doesn't have, this is the problem in the world, because we are, you know, when every time we encounter suffering, we are seeking a way to suppress it or express it. Yeah. So that way you actually don't get to the problem, root of the problem. Yeah. Sort of. Okay. I shouldn't sound like a monk giving a sermon. Okay.
No problem with me.
No problem with you, Julie. Oh, thank you. You're kind. Okay. No, it is actually, you know, this part again, the Samma Jnana and Samma Vimutti is so crucial. And I actually encourage you. You know, later on, perhaps, you know, one thing we would like to do is we would like to actually read a couple of sutras together. So what I mean, you know, there are actually several, sorry, I got into the wrong one. So if I were to, like, say, show you some, I mean, are there any particular Tripitakas that you are using?
I didn't understand your question. Could you please repeat?
Any websites or anything that you know, you use as a reference? Like, you know, there are many different types of sutras. Let me actually show you some. First, let me. It's hard to. Okay, hold on. So what I really would like is to do a class with you. I will come to you and do a class physically, not on Zoom. Okay. Yeah. Would that be nice?
You're in London, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in London. I can get to you within 1 hour, you know.
Oh yeah.
Amsterdam. And you know, Keith can just accompany you. You can just go to city, you know, airport here. Just, you know, Schiphol Airport is only one hour away. Yeah. So let me just because there are quite a few different websites. Okay. What I'm just trying to do is I just want to get to, you know, there are several different sites where you can go and read the Tripitaka. One of the sites that I found quite useful is, hold on. Okay, sorry about this. Okay. So this is something called, there are actually several pariyatti. Pariyatti site, Chatta Sangayana, I mean, where you could actually read some sutras. But there is also, what was the PTS? There is also PTS. It's
Just
called, is Pali. Pali text.
Tripitaka.
Sorry?
Just write it as Tripitaka in the Google. Then there are three basically Tripitaka versions in which you can find your choice.
Okay.
Just write down as Tripitaka.
Tripitaka, yeah.
Yeah, Tripitaka, just only Tripitaka.
Yeah, so, but this is actually, this may be, okay, yeah. So there you are. You can actually find Sutta Pitaka. Yeah. So if you want to, you have to download it. Okay. That is little cumbersome, but there are actually, you can actually read Pali and English side by side. Yeah. Okay. So if you want to read, say, Majjhima Nikaya, okay. Now, can you all see this? Yeah. So you could actually go to, there are some versions where you could actually go and read the Pali and English side by side. So that way you could actually see the translations. So this is the Majjhima Nikaya, and if you want to,
I'm still seeing the first web page. Excuse me, I don't know if maybe it's just me.
No.
Sorry?
The download.
Can you not see?
No.
See only the first page.
Do you see the page changing? No?
No.
No, oh, okay. Yeah, so basically there are few, I mean, if you go to Google Tipitaka, there's a Sutra Central. One venerable, actually monk from Australia is doing a really nice website. It's called Sutra Central, where Ajahn, what's his name? Sujatu, Ajahn Sujatu. And the Thanissaro Bhikkhu, his is mostly the translation, not English version. So what would be really nice is to have both English and Pali version together. And I'm sure if you want to read it in Dutch, there may be a Dutch version as well. Do you? Oh yeah, there you are.
This is the first part of the Majjhima Nikaya. It's
Excellent.
Dutch translation by Jan.
Oh, I mean, I mean, Dutch Buddhist scholars are very thorough and really strong. There are, quite a number of good Buddhist scholars. Yeah. Yeah. So, reading some sutras. So one thing I would like to do in our, our Pali text has also a few sutras. Let me just get to that. Killing particles. Actually. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, in the new Pali course, actually, can you see the Pali course? This is the page. The page is downloading a bit slow. My Wi-Fi is again horrible today. Yeah. Do you see the page?
Yes.
Okay. So if you actually go down, there are sutras, actually, at the end. Now let me get to what was the page where the sutra? Yeah, in your Pali course, you could even, you could, yeah, the page number 147. If you get to 147, what is this? One, 5, 2. Okay, 147. Okay, so now in all of these sutras, you will see that this, let's have a look at this. Evang me sutam. Ekang samayang bhagava. Yeah. So this is what is actually, this is the starting point. Evang me sutam. Evam. What does evam mean?
I think it means I. Is that right?
No. Me is
Me is I. Right?
by me. Yeah, yeah. Evang is thus. Thus have I heard. Thus have I heard. Now this is what Ananda, Venerable Ananda says. I heard this because luckily all the teachings were memorized by one person called Ananda. I'm really, we are grateful to him for memorizing them. He must have had a really hard disk of even 1,000 gigabytes. Yeah. So he just memorized all this. But I think it is, so you hear, this is the words of Ananda, Venerable Ananda. Evang me sutam. Thus, evam means thus, me means by me, sutam, heard. Thus have I heard. So any sutra, when you at the beginning, you will have this. Yeah. Then you have ekang samayang bhagava. Ekang samayang. Anybody knows the words? Ekang. What is eka?
One.
One. That's right. Eka. Ekang samayang. One time. Samaya means this, space of time. One time. Bhagava. Bhagava. The Buddha. Bhagava is the name for the Buddha. Alaviyang viharati. Alavi, that's the name of a place. Yeah. Alaviyang viharati, lives. Yeah. Alavakasa yakasa bhavane. See, the Buddha sneaked into Alavaka's house. When he was not there, his wives were there. So the Buddha went on the Pinda path and then he went, Alaviyang Viharati Alavakas Yakas Alavaka. Alavaka is the name of the man. Alavakas, his, that is kind of dative case. Yakas, Yakka. Yakka. Have you heard the word Yakka?
Demon?
Yeah, demon. Yakasa Bhavane. Bhavane is his palace, his house. Like Bhavane is a little bit kind of respectful word, his abode. Bhavane. Yeah, the Buddha was Buddha Viharati. Viharati is now he's inside the Yakasa Bhavane. Yeah. Then Athako, then at that time. Atha means that, then. Athako, Alavako Yakko, the Alavaka, the demon Alavaka, Yena Bhagava. Now this is again you will see quite often. Yena Bhagava. Yena means wherever Bhagava. Wherever the Bhagava is, Tena, that place Upasankami. Wherever the Bhagava, this Alavaka came. Yeah. Upasankamitva, having arrived, having reached. Yeah. Upasankamitva. Bhagavantang etadavocha. Bhagavantang. To the Blessed One, Bhagava is the Blessed One, to the Bhagava, to the Blessed One, etang avocha. Etang means this, avocha, said this. Yeah. What did he say, the Alavaka demon? What did he say? Nikkama samana. He was a very, he was mad at the fact that, this guy was, visiting his wives when he was not there. Nikkama samana. Even he didn't have any appointment with him. Nikkama samana. He said, what is nikkama? Any guesses? That's not that
out.
Nice. Yeah?
Get out.
Get out. Yeah, exactly. Get out. Get out. Nikkama samana. Samana. What is samana?
Shramana.
Yeah, you have heard the word shramana. Shramana is like a ascetic. Yeah, ascetic. Yeah, nikkama samana. Get out, you bugger. Yeah. So sadhavusoti bhagava nikkami. Sadhu. What is sadhu? Then this is again conjunction. Yeah. Sadhu avuso. Yeah.
Oh, the recluses in India, they were.
Yeah. Sadhus. Yeah, a lot of sadhus are in there. So no, sadhu is also, but here the meaning is different. Sadhu here means very well, my friend. Avuso means colleague, friend, like anyone like on a equal basis. Yeah, you say avuso. It is the opposite of Bhanthe. Bhanthe is when somebody is higher than you, you say Bhanthe. Avuso is, yeah, avuso is like equal. Sadhavuso, okay, mate. He said, okay, mate. Bhagava nikkami. He left, Yeah, so when he said, get out, he just said, thank you, okay, I'll go to get out. He went out, okay? And then Pavisa Samana, then the Alavaka was very, he was observing this is a special man. So he thought of asking him to walk back and forth, He said, get out. And then he said, get in. Pavisa Samana. Pavisa means get in. Yeah. Pavisa Samanati. Sadhavuso. So he said, very well. He just actually went in again. Yeah. Dutiyampi ko aleva koyako. Okay. Dutiyang. Now you have already met that word. Dutiyang. What is Dutiyang?
Yeah. For the second time.
For the second time. That's right. That's right. Dutiyang. Yeah. What is third time?
Tatyampi.
Tatiyang. Excellent. Tatiyampi. Tatiyampi. So Dutiyampi, Tatiyampi. What is fourth time? Aha, I got you.
Chatyam?
Chatutta, yeah. Chatutta. You know, now eka, du, ti, chatu. See the chatu satcha. Remember chatu satcha? Chatu is 4. And what is 5?
Panika.
Pancha.
Yeah.
Cha.
I have a question, because it was really interesting that we have the pancha and papancha, and why is this also here? Like, what's the relation between number 5 and these concepts?
No, there is no connection whatsoever.
Relation.
No. It's a accident. Yeah. Papancha and pancha. No. So there are 2 different words. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Eka, du, ti, chatu, pancha. What is 6?
Cha.
Cha. Very excellent. Cha. Yeah. Cha. Chati. Cha. So what is 7?
Satta.
Satta. Very good. Satta. What is 8?
Atta.
Atta. Very good. Excellent. Atta. So atta. Arya attangika magga. Yeah. Yeah. Atta. What is 9?
Nava.
Nava. Very good.
Dasa.
And dasa. Yeah. Now see, your homework today is count from 1 to 10. Okay. Let's get Keith to do that. Okay, I have fun, asking you to do exercise. Yeah, Keith, are you with me?
Barely is the answer. I can do Chinese for you.
Yeah, 1 to 10. Yeah, 1 to 10. Yeah.
1、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。
Hey, that's not Pali. That's not Pali. Yeah. Eka, du, ti, chatu, pancha, chatta, satta, atta, nava, dasa. Yeah. So it's good practice. The eka dasa. See, all the actually numerical discourses is quite good, because numerical discourse like eka, eka nipata, dukkha nipata, tika nipata, chatukka nipata, panchaka nipata, chatta nipata, satta nipata. See, there's a whole Nikaya. This is called Anguttara Nikaya. Anguttar means numerical, so Anguttara Nikaya has ekas, dus, tis and chatus, panchas, chattas, sattas, etc. Yeah, and really there was a very interesting conversation between the Buddha and the Sopaka. Sopaka was a very modest, very poor person who attained enlightenment when he was 7. Would you believe that? Yeah, he was fully enlightened at 7. Yeah. So the Buddha asked 10 questions. What is one? What is one?
Sorry to disturb. Doctor, sorry to disturb. 2 people have chat that they need a short break.
Oh,
Perhaps you
sorry.
may not seen that.
Oh, good. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry to disturb, because you are going to
yeah.
clarify
So let's,
very interesting thing.
yeah, let's take a break okay, shall we take a break now then? Okay, let's take a 10 minutes break. Okay. Sorry.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye. So do you live in Amsterdam, Artamitra? You live in Amsterdam? Yeah, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You told me nodding. Yeah. I live in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And
Manoj is,
and you live in London, and you come.
yeah.
I suppose you come regularly to Amsterdam. I suppose. Or
Oh, I've been there a couple of times to the university. Yeah. Mm.
But you're not actually lecturing at the university, and
I'm supposed to be, but because since I started, I haven't had a chance.
okay. Yes.
So I probably will be coming very soon. I would like to meet you guys and then do a class physically.
Okay.
This is very unusual for me to teach on, sitting on a chair like this. I just want to move around like Manoj. He knows in Sri Lankan style. You have to walk around the class and dominate the classroom. Yeah.
The technique is to invade their personal space.
Yeah. So I mean, but the teacher has to be active. When you're sitting and teaching, really drowsy and yeah, this is not ideal.
Well, you make a pretty active impression on me when you're teaching, even when it's online.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
You don't seem drowsy to me at all.
No. I mean, Pali. I mean, the Sutra readings are really fascinating because I enjoy it a lot. So,
Yeah, I suppose.
So that makes a difference. I mean, yeah. if I teach linguistics, that's actually my main area, like, and then that would be pretty boring, Yeah. So Manoj is connecting from Newcastle, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm.
Newcastle, is it Newcastle on Thyme? Is that Newcastle above Hull?
Newcastle, Tyne upon, yes, Tyne, yes.
Upon Tyne, yeah. So that is, yeah, is it the east and the west? Is that the difference? I don't know.
East, probably east, no?
I think there's a Newcastle somewhere in the west, I think close to Wales as well.
Close to Wales, no.
No, but there's another Newcastle. I think.
Yeah, it is that Wales.
Yeah.
This is east.
Keith, are you from you're from Lincolnshire, yeah? Lancashire. Lancashire.
Yes. Lancashire.
Lancashire, okay.
Opposite side to Yorkshire.
Okay, yeah.
We've got like Manchester and Liverpool, Preston.
Okay. Yeah.
So there is a Newcastle, on the line, just south of Manchester.
Yeah, close.
Okay. I see venerable monks, I think from Sri Lanka or Sumedha, they may be actually sleeping. This is past midnight for them. Are they dozing off? Can you hear us, venerable? He just had his higher ordination, didn't he? probably they may be sleeping because it's pretty late for them. Sumedha, can you hear us? No. Okay, no worries. Welcome back, folks. So we were reading a little bit of Alavaka Sutta. Now you can't say you haven't read the sutta now. You have started to read Alavaka Sutta. It's a pretty dramatic, it's a you can actually make a drama of it because Alavaka is a pretty interesting guy. So he's called Yakka because I think it was more of a tribe rather than, you may not see the demon, but some tough man, Alavaka. So the sutta is quite interesting. So it says Dutiyampi, Tatiyampi, so three times he asks the Buddha to get out, and all three times he obeyed. Yeah, and the fourth time he asked him to get out. Yeah. So perhaps you can read it yourself. Fourth time. Then what happened at the fourth time? Do you know the story of Alavaka? It's a pretty interesting one. No?
No.
Okay. Yeah. The fourth time, the Buddha said, I have done it 3 times. 3 times is something very special in Buddhism. But not for the 4th time. And then he said, then Alavaka said, if you don't get out now, I will just grab you in your 2 legs and actually, kind of circle, over my head 3 times and throw you out of the sakwala, out of this world. And the Buddha said, oh, really? Great. That's your wishful thinking, mate. He said, no one can do to me a Buddha like that. And then he said, oh, really? Then the Alavaka's mind changed a little bit. And also the change, why do you think the Buddha went out 3 times and came back 3 times? Any thoughts? Just to mellow him down. I mean, this is Buddha's strategy. When you obey somebody, you grab the person. You actually, that's a really pretty good strategy to tame a person. Yeah. So you first obey the person, orders. But the 4th time he said, thank you very much. I'm not going to do it. Do whatever you wish. And he said, then I'm going to do this. And he said, no, that's your wishful thinking. And then he was actually thinking differently. Oh, this guy is interesting. I should ask him some questions and tire him, with questions. And then he asked, few questions that he had. I mean, those days, unlike today, people had really good questions, to ask. Yeah. Nowadays, people, huh? Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, people ask really, I mean, he asks, what is the wealth? King Suda Vikta. You can read, again, by the way, we will be reading some verses. The Pali has the prose and the verse form. Yeah. So it's like a poetic form and, normal prose. Yeah. So King Sudavita, he said, what is the wealth? King Sudavittam Purusa Seta. What is the highest wealth that a person can have? Yeah. What should one practice? Kinsu Suchinno Sukama Vahat. Kinsu Have Sadhudana. What is the highest taste in the world? Which way should one live to be successful, to achieve? And the Buddha gave actually really nice answers. He was quite impressed. Yeah. So that's the conversation in the Alavaka Sutta. Pretty dramatic, very, very nice. So you will enjoy the answers that the Buddha gave as well. They're pretty solid. The Buddha won't give lousy answers, would he? So yeah, so that is Alavaka's story. And I would actually encourage you to read, and perhaps, maybe you should would you be interested to know a little bit more about the Alavaka? Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
So then now this is the Nikama. Yeah, Nikama. Now Chatuttampiko Alavako Yakko. Now after 3 times, say Chatuttampi. Chatutta is again Chatutta. For the 4th time, Ko Alavako Yakko Bhagavantang Etadavoja. Ask the Buddha, this Nikama Samana iti. Get out. And then the Buddha says, Nakwahang tang avuso nikamisami. Na kwang, na kwa ahang. Ahang, what is ahang in Pali? Ahang is I. Yeah. Ahang. Ahang. Wayang is, mayang. Mayang is, we. Ahang, wayang. So I. Nakwahang tang. Nako ahang tang auso pasam. Nako, yeah, nako. Not in this world. I don't see anyone in this world. Tam avuso is my friend. Nikamisan. I don't go out for the 4th time. Yang te karaniya. Yang is whichever karaniya is that can be done, doable. Yeah, yang te karaniya. Yang te means you. Whatever you want to do it. Tam karohi, that thing, do that thing. Whatever you want to do that thing. Then the Alavaka say, Panham tang samana puchami. Sramana, I'm going to question you. Panham means question. I'm questioning you. Panyam tam samana puchisami. I'm going to. This is future tense. Puchisami. Sache me ne vyakarisasi. If you do not answer, chittang vate kipisami. I'll make you a crazy. I'll make you crazy. Chittang vate kipisami. I sort of turn your mind. Hadayam te vate palisami. Hadayam means heart. Heart. Va te, your heart. Palisami. I will break your heart. That means I will cut your heart. Palisami. Padesu. Padesu va. Pada means legs. Padesu va gahetva. Having taken by the legs. Par gangayang kipisami. I throw, away out into the river. Yeah, para gangayang kipisami. Nakwantam avuso pasami. Nako ahantang avuso pasami. I don't see, my friend, anyone. Sadeva ke loki. Sa deva ke. Deva. What is deva? Devas.
It's a god.
God, yeah. Now, with the God, sadeva ke loke, sabrahma ke, even the Brahmas, with the gods and the Brahmas, samara ke maras, Brahmaniya pajaya, Brahmana community, sadeva manusaya, even in the human realm. Yo me chittang va kipeya, whoever can do, whoever can turn my mind. Hadayam va paleya, no one can do that. Cut my heart. Padesua gahetwa paragangayang kipeya, having taken by feet, throw me. Apicha twang avuso pucha. Apicha, however, if you have questions, ask me. Yada karaniyasi. Akang kayasi. If you like, you can ask questions. Yeah. Atako alavako yakko bhagavantang gathaya ajjabasi. By the verses, ask these questions. King Sudhavitang Purisasa Settam. King Sudhavitang. King Sudhavitang. What is the greatest wealth? Vitta means wealth. Purisasa means to a man. Settam, great. What is the greatest wealth for a man on this world, in this world? Kingsu suchinno sukama vahati. By practicing which one gains happiness. Kingsu have sadutarang rasana. What is the highest taste out of all the taste? Katham jiving jivitamahu setta. What type of life is the best life in the world? Yeah. And then the Buddha answers directly. Saddhida vittang purisasa setta. The faith, saddha. Idha means here in this world, saddha. Faith is the greatest wealth. Vitta, wealth. Purisasa settam. Dhammo suchinno sukama vahati. When one practices Dhamma, one attains happiness. Satchang have sadutarang rasana. Out of all the taste, the taste of truth is the greatest. Panya jiving jivitamahu setta. The wise or life with wisdom is the greatest life. Yeah. So yeah. So that he has a series of questions, like nearly about 10 of them, and the Buddha answers. And at the end, Alavaka, becomes really impressed. Yeah. And then what does he say? I'm just going to go from house to house, place to place, and share your Dhamma, share the greatest wisdom, you have shared with me. Yeah. So now that's actually, the Alavaka question. So I wanted to actually do a verse with you in our second lesson, which is again nice one. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Where is the? Yeah. Okay. Now we are pretty much, we did some work on the first lesson 1. Okay. Yeah. In the lesson 2, again, these verses are quite interesting. But I mean, when you read Pali, you will read lots of these verses. And these are kind of key verses in the Pali canon. They have done a really good, chosen this. Would anybody like to read the first verse? Probably I should pick one of you. Yeah. That's what we do in Pali. You can't say no when I can, probably I should ask Arthamitra to read the first one. Yeah.
Okay. Kicho manusapatilabho kichang machanang jivitang kichang sadhammasavanang kicho buddhanang upado.
Yeah, brilliant. That's really good. And I'm very impressed. You are actually pronouncing the aspiration as well. Excellent. So you could even chant this. Kicho manus patilabho kichang machane jivitang kichang sadhamma savanang kicho buddhanang upadu. So this is how we commit this to memory, as when we are reading the Pali, these stanzas, when you read it actually a couple of times and you memorize it, loads of monks, I mean almost all the monks actually, when they are 10, 12, 15, they have memorized half of the Pali canon. That's one good thing about being a monk, at that young age. Yeah. Okay. Now shall we just work through this? What do you think the kicho means? Kicho. Kicha. If you know Sanskrit, krutya, it's same as krutya. Krutya. Krutya is a work. Actually, literally, it means work. Krutya. Yeah. Krutya. Manusa patilabho. Manusa, what is manusa? Any guesses? Human. Human. Manusa. Remember we had the Deva, Manusa, Brahma in that Sutta, Alavaka Sutta. So Manusa means human. Kicho Manusa Patilabho. Being Patilabho is receiving. Yeah. Okay. Julie, do you want to say something?
Oh no, but I have the word list, so I can cheat and
You can
give
cheat, yeah.
different definitions than you do. But
Yeah, sure. But you know what I really wanted to show you was this has a literal meaning and a literary meaning. Now, when you say kitcha, work or rare, hard to get, difficult. Yeah, it has the meaning difficult, hard, you know, something that needs to be achieved with effort. Yeah, kitcha, difficult, rare. But actually, kitcha, that is the literary meaning. Literal meaning is work. Kichang karoti, like, one manuso or puriso kichang karoti. Man does the work. Yeah. So, but here it means rare. Rare is being born as human. Yeah, rare is the human, life. Like kichang machana jivita. Rare is being able to live, be alive. Yeah, rare. Kichang. Kichang saddhamma savana. Any guesses? Saddhamma savana?
To come in contact with Dhamma, but
yeah, exactly. To come into contact with the Dhamma or listen to the Dhamma. Savana here means, listen. Yeah. So actually, literally, it means in coming to contact with Dhamma is rare. Kicho buddhanang upadu. Rare is the birth. Upada is birth. Rare is the birth of the Buddhas. Yeah. Now, the four rarest things. Now, this is called Sugatowada. Every day the Buddha reminds the monks, bhikkhave, monks, it is rare to be born as human, rare to be alive, and your sense faculties working. Rare is the encountering the Dhamma. Rare is to live during the time of a Buddha, Buddha Sasana. Yeah. So this is like 4 lotteries. You have won 4 lotteries in one go. Yeah. So, you have been born as human, yeah, and your faculties are working. You have encountered the Dhamma, and this is the Buddha's time, when the Buddha Sasana is available. So, kicho manusa patilabu, kichang machana jivita, kichang saddhamma savana, kicho buddhanang upadu. And I would like another person, somebody to recite it. Who is going to recite it? And if there are no volunteers, I'm going to pick one. That's my veto power. Yeah? No volunteers? Yeah, Julie, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, I was just doing it for myself, but okay.
Yeah.
The first one?
First one, yeah.
Okay. Kicho manusapatila labho, kichang machanang jivitang, kichang satammasavanam, kicho bhutanang upado.
Wow, wonderful. That's excellent. So the second stanza is a very famous one, really famous. Yeah, I think almost everybody knows it. because this is the, you know, this is the summary of the Buddha Sasana, dispensation of the Buddha. Yeah. Anybody wants to yeah, Arthamita.
Can I chant it?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Sabba papa sa karanam kusala sa upasampada Sachita paryodapanam etang buddhana sasanam.
Oh, brilliant. That's lovely. Yeah. Now that's a very famous one. You know, you got to know that stanza. If you know that stanza, you can impress anybody because that's the whole summary of Buddhist teaching. 3 sentences. Yeah. Have you already figured the meaning of that? What is sabba? Sabba. S-A-B-B-A. Sabba.
Is it all?
All. Yeah, exactly. All. Every. Papasa.
Is evil?
Evil things. You know, demerit or wrong things. Sabba papasa akaranam.
Is not doing.
Not doing, exactly. So what is doing then?
Karanam?
Karanam. Excellent. Yeah. So whenever you put a, it becomes opposite. Sabba papasa akaranam. You know, not doing any evil, bad things. And the second one?
Kusalasa is good things.
Yeah.
And so doing good things.
Exactly. Yeah. Upasampada means, you know, exonerating or doing good things. Yeah. What is third one?
Then purifying the mind.
The heart. Yeah. Heart,
the
mind.
heart.
Yeah. Sachitta pariyodapanam.
That is the teaching of the Buddhas.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the teaching of the Buddhas. Exactly. Etang buddhanang sasanam. Yeah. So that's a beautiful stanza. Who is going to recite that? Come on, Manoj.
Sabbha papassa akaranam kusalassa upasampada sachitta pariyodapanam etam buddhana sasanam.
Brilliant. Yeah. Excellent. So now whenever, you know, when people actually memorize this, you know, and, you know, sometimes they, you know, you can chant this to bless somebody. Yeah. You can chant this. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of monks do this. Sabbapapa sakarana. And this is why, like, you know, from the spiritual caregiving perspective, did you say that, you know, from your memory, Arthamitra? Have you memorized this? Pretty much, yeah. Excellent. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So Sabbapapa sakarana. I mean, if you know, I think that's a really good way to bless a person. Yeah, very meaningful. Okay, the third verse. Again, a very famous verse. Let's see who knows the third verse. I can't see Michal and you know, Julia.
I can try.
I want to
don't
try
know.
to, but I don't know it, so I didn't say anything.
I'm sure you do. Come on. Okay.
But you can go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Nahi verna verani samantidha kudachanang averna cha samanti esa dhammo sanantano.
Brilliant. Excellent. Yeah. So, when you know the meaning, it makes it easier for you to memorize it. So, nahi, not ever. He means ever. Wherein, hatred, by hatred. Where hatred does not cease by hatred. Hatred cannot be ceased by hatred. Nahi verena verani sammanti. Sammanti means cease or come to end. Kudachanam, whenever, wherever, kudachanam, not ever. It is like kudachanam means not ever. Not ever hatred ceases by hatred. Averenacha. What is averen? The opposite of vera. Yeah. It is by not hatred or actually the love. Averenacha sammanti. It ceases by not having hatred or actually loving. Averena means actually cha is a particle, only by this. Esa dhammo, esa means this, dhamma, this phenomenon, sanantano. Sanantano means forever, perennial, all the time, everywhere, anywhere. Yeah. So probably we should chant this to Russians. Yeah. Now at the moment, yeah, the hatred, and then it's incredible that the hatred never ceases by hatred, but only by love. Not hatred. Okay, so I think I'm going to ask Julia to recite in a melodial voice. Yeah, okay, yeah. Would you like to do that?
I think I cannot. I mean, like I like singing.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to try?
I don't know. I think I would prefer reading. No.
Okay. So I will. No, Arthamitra probably wants to do that. Do you?
Well, I don't know a tune to it, but
yeah. Okay.
I could. Yeah.
There is no particular tune. You give a tune to it yourself. Yeah.
Nahi verena verani samantida kudachanang avarena cha samanti isadhammo sanantano.
That's great. That's great. That's lovely. Yeah. Yeah. So I think one can really memorize this. These are really pretty so see the Dhammapada, this text Dhammapada has about 443 of these lovely stanzas. It's incredible. I mean, they are kind of collections from the Pali canon. So if you, when you, sometimes people actually memorize the whole thing. I was asked to memorize it when I was 10. I could just chant from number 1 to 443. non-stop, just like that, because it's a memorizing is a practice. Yeah. When you go to the higher ordination, they actually give you one stanza from one place, and then until they ask you to stop, you have to go on chanting. Yeah. So some monks, they actually even memorize the full sutras, Dhammachakra and all long sutras as well. Yeah. Okay, folks. So you could actually, you could read some sections, some things. You says, you can try to, like, you have the vocabulary, you have the grammar, and then you can try to, of course we will read some of them, but not all of them. But I think when you got some time, do read as much as you can. I mean, I take a lot of pleasure in reading and sutras over and over again, and sometimes you see new meaning as well. Yeah. Okay. Are you tired? Yes. Yeah. How was your retreat, Julie?
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was very beautiful. I'm happy I got the chance to go.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Any questions? Any more questions? Why is your, I think Julie's microphone is echoing, yeah? Okay. Okay. Any questions so far with everything we discussed?
I have one question.
Yeah.
That was I didn't. So in this chant that we just did, and I heard about before, like this is one of the main teaching is that the human birth is rare. But then I was wondering about when someone is a stream enterer, then they're supposed to have like the guarantee of human births, and so that they can attain the enlightenment. And so I wonder if Buddha teaches the bhikkhus and they are already stream enterers, then for them the human birth wouldn't be rare anymore because they know that they should be human in next life. So I just wonder what's the view on that, like your view on that?
I didn't quite get your question. Could you say that again?
Yeah. So I think I've read somewhere that if someone reaches the level of stream enterer, then they have the enlightenment guaranteed in 7 lives.
Yeah.
And then how does that compare with the teaching that human birth is rare? Because then it would seem that the bhikkhus, the monks or stream enterers, part of the Arya Sangha, are already guaranteed, so they don't need to worry that the birth is rare because for them it's already will happen anyway.
Yeah, good question. That's really lovely question. Actually, when you are a stream winner, what cuts off, what prevents you from is lower, birth in lower realms. So, you will not be born as an animal, not a hungry ghost, not a, demigod, and all these four lower realms. Now, there are 31 planes of existence, isn't it? So the human realm is kind of the 27th, right? So, but you don't go down. You can actually go up So depending on your karmic, cycle, whatever. But the human birth is very rare because it's the only, it is the only place where you can easily, it is easier, but it doesn't say that gods cannot understand. I mean, when the Buddha gave teachings to God, I mean, they also attain enlightenment. So, but because in the human realm, it is much more conducive. Yeah. So that's the only reason. Actually, the fact that you are, you are safe now from the lower realms. So you're, when you are a Sotapanna, you have only 6 more existence. Yeah. So your thousands and millions of lives are cut short into 6 more. So that means, you are bound to be enlightened, during that time. And, one could actually do it within this very life or, whatever. So, yes, human existence is very rare in the sense that that's actually where, it's easier and it is more practical, because, when you are a god, for example, you are much more attuned to the happy life, and then your chances of actually realizing is less. Yeah. In the Brahma realms, the same story. So human realm is kind of balance it in a way. You have, you have suffering to go through. At the same time, you have great opportunity to realize. Yeah. And that is the kind of rarity that is being discussed here. Does that make sense to you? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think that about the god realms in this. So yeah, actually, that's true. That if it's so easy, then why would you seek Dhamma?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
When you're having a really good time, you just don't feel like practicing and all of that. Yeah. So I mean, but the Sotapanna is a very important step for any Buddhist. The minimum requirement, and also it is said in the Pali canon, in some sutras, the Buddha says that if you develop enough faith, saddha, it's called saddhanusari and prajnanusari. So then you develop your faith and wisdom in parallel. You will attain Sotapatti even at before, just even 1 second before your death. That is kind of assured. Yeah. There is in the connected discourse called Okkanti Sutta, where the Buddha gives that guarantee. I can, if you, a lot of people, the problem is people don't have enough faith, isn't it? People doubt too much, so that's why the Alavaka, at the time the Buddha said the greatest wealth one can have is saddha. Yeah. So, people should never, and it also says, I mean, saddha dhanang, saddha balang, saddindriya, saddha is faith is such an important faculty. And when you develop that, you can actually feel that, you never lose it, because you are, and the Buddha said, I mean, the Sotapanna has only four characteristics. Yeah. is defined by the 4 characteristics. Buddhe avicca pasadena samannagata. He's fully established in the Buddha. There is no speck of doubt about Buddhahood. And Dhamme avicca pasadena samannagata. So the Dhamma, he has no doubt whatsoever about the teaching. And the Sangha, and he has no doubt about, the ability for one to, enlighten. And then the last one is the person really does not break sila. But when it comes to sila, it is not the sila that we think it is. It is called Ariyakanta sila. Ariyakanta sila is not the ordinary Shila that we talk about. It is not, it is not adhering to rites and rituals. It's a deep, deep restraint that one develops within one's, heart and mind, So, just because that you are, having a glass of wine, a glass of, a beer, that doesn't mean you are breaking the precept. Because in some cultures, even people offer beer to the Buddha. Have you seen the Buddha getting drunk? Yeah. So it is called Ariyakanta Sile. Ariyakanta Sile. Ariyakanta Sile is not the rites and rituals. It is actually much more deeper and much more embodied. Yeah. So those are the 4 things. But there was a really bad drunkard at the time of the Buddha called Sarakani. He was an alcoholic, and he attained the Sotapatti. He was Sotapatti. Even some alcoholics, drug addicts can be, Sotapanna. So, the type of sila that we are talking about, and we judge people on the basis of their outer external behavior. But the Buddha actually gives a very, insightful, teachings on, in the Migasala Sutta. Migasala, there are many suttas where, digression, like sometimes breaking sila, how does that work, etc. So, in one, there's a, brilliant conversation between Ananda and the Buddha one time. It's actually in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, where the then when the Buddha is actually walking along to this Kusinagar, and he sits somewhere, and he was very ill at that time, and then then Ananda is asking all these questions, Beluagama, where he comes to a village where, somebody died yesterday, and he asks, where was he born? So-and-so, died last night. So-and-so died last week. Where was he born? Such and such. And then the Buddha told him a really nice story. He said, Ananda, this is very tiring for me to tell you all the stories, all the, just check on everybody, who was born where, etc. And he said, I will teach you a strategy, a technique to definitely to tell somebody when that person dies, where that person is going to be born. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think that strategy is? Any guesses? Yeah, it's a lovely story. I could get that reading actually. he gives a really nice analogy. He says, just imagine there is a tree. In between, on one side is the land, the other side is the muddy water. When this tree falls, where do you think it is going to fall towards? Then Ananda says, wait, okay, Julia wanted to say something.
Muddy water.
Muddy water. Oh gosh, not really. We think all the trees are falling onto the muddy water. No, no. I mean, it's very rational. And the Buddha says, wherever it is bent towards, if a tree is actually bent towards the land, it is going to fall on that side. If it is for leaning towards the muddy water, it's going to fall on that. So it's how people live. We don't need to have a very big skeptical doubt about our death and where we will be born. Are you worried about whether you're going to be born in a lower realm? No, never. Don't worry at all. I can assure you. Anyone who comes to Pali course will not get into a wrong place. Yeah, I can try to rescue you. Okay.
But
so
what does
sorry?
it mean if the tree would be straight and would not lean towards any side?
I knew you would be asking that question. What if the tree is just, no, the tree is never going to be like that. Okay, that would be a strange tree. Yeah, I mean, but again, if that were the case, wherever the force of energy is towards, isn't it? Now let's imagine, just for the sake of argument, that it is, right in the middle, but it's the force wherever it is fallen towards. I mean, people know from their own gut feeling where those people are actually, towards. But that doesn't mean that every person is going to be perfect. And this is what the Buddha tells Mahanama. Mahanama asks this strange question. He says, Venerable Sir, we are very busy lay people doing numerous things in this way, lay life. And, at the time of death, how do I know whether my mind is at peace? My mind is in the right frame of mind. And the Buddha says, don't worry, Mahanama, don't worry. Yeah? Stop worrying. Because deep down, what really matters is how you feel deep down. What is your practice? What's your inkling? Yeah, everyone has an inkling, and that is, that's the most important. And I think the biggest hindrance out of all the five is the biggest hindrance is doubt, skeptical doubt, isn't it? So now that's what we should be. We should know exactly where we stand. Yeah. Otherwise, how can we be clear of our faith, our trust?
Can I ask, so why is it number 5 in the 5 hindrances then? Because I've always thought of it as number 1.
I think you're absolutely right. Actually, they were rated. Those were 5. Because the thing is, most of the time it is the attachment. I mean, you can ask the same question: why aversion is the number 2? But because in the world, the word satta means the attachment. We have an attachment. That's why we are here in the first place. Satta. So the karma, you have attachment, and the other side of attachment is aversion. And then, you have this, laziness, the doubting actually. I mean, this was a conversation between me and, there was a Cambridge scholar, was it Lance Cousins? Yeah, Lance Cousins, who actually said something really fast. He said, when somebody becomes Sotapanna, the first fetter, first thing which is broken is the doubt. Because the doubting mind is the biggest hindrance. Yeah. And I think your intuition is quite correct. It is the doubt which, you actually know something beyond doubt. And that's actually well founded in the Samyutta Nikaya. There are about actually 60 different sutras where this being very well discussed. The Buddha says, stop doubting. That's the big, big hindrance. Yeah. Establish faith, because now in the world, is there any argument of being good, being kind, being compassionate? Does anybody quarrel with that? You can't. By the way, Keith, I found the reference for the, and I remember we had this discussion where the Buddha says, if you want to set fire to a river, with some fire, can you do that? And that is in the Kakachupama Sutta. Today I read that Kakachupama Sutta. It is in the middle-length discourses, and there are really amazing analogies in the sutta. The Buddha gives really quite a few, like how kind, how compassionate people should be. Like earth, he says, like the earth. If somebody says, I'm going to ruin this earth with all the dirt, and he just digs something and put that dirt into the earth. But what does the earth do? The earth actually transforms that into something really positive. Yeah. So if you want to spoil the sky, you go and color the sky, do whatever. And can you do that? And then there are really nice, few nice examples. And one of this was, if you want to set fire to a river, you actually take the fire and put that in the river. What happens to that fire? It gets extinguished. Yeah. So it is the power of positivity, the power of kusala. Yeah. Okay. So I think my sermon is over now. Yeah. So folks, yeah, so let's read a few sutras, and if there's anything that you wish to read, you want to suggest that we read, because there are 18,000 sutras. I'm sure within the course I won't be able to read all of them, but we can actually read some key sutras. Yeah, Mikhail. Yeah.
I thought, but I don't know if others share my interest, but I thought it would be nice if we discussed, read some suttas in which, but I don't know which, the khandas, the aggregates are discussed, because I think it's really interesting.
It is, yeah. We will do that. We will definitely do that. I have actually chosen one with the. So what I'm going to choose is, I'm going to choose key sutras where the 5 khandas, the 4 noble truths, 8-fold noble path, and the dependent origination, like a key teachings are covered. I will choose. I have already chosen few, and hopefully we will read those. Okay. Everybody happy? Yeah. Okay. All right, folks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one just very down to earth question. Where can I get hands of the book that you sent us by, well, that we downloaded? Where can I have actually a live copy of it? Where can I order it?
Which book?
The book that we are sort of, that book, yeah, that Keith is showing, A New Course in Reading Pali.
Oh, you haven't got a,
I think.
oh, you haven't got a copy.
No.
You can get it on bol.com.
Sorry, I couldn't find it there, but yeah, you sure?
Oh,
No,
that's
I
where I
could,
got
I
it.
could actually, I could email it to you. I could email it the PDF version. Yeah.
Well, I've got the PDF version, but I would like to have the
you like
real thing.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
this is
But
pretty
on
simple.
Amazon NL, it is also. So.
Amazon, I found it, yeah, but I didn't. Okay,
Yeah,
But
but
it's
this is,
really
I mean,
fast.
sorry.
Really fast delivery. So.
yeah.
Fast
No,
delivery on Amazon.
if you want a copy, I mean, if you want, actually, I can see this is pretty cheap. I mean, they have published this in India but to make it actually cheap for people to buy. So I mean, this is like, it's about 20 rupees. I mean, no, actually about 200 rupees in Sri Lanka, which is actually about a pound, 1 pound. Yeah. So I'm actually I will be going to Sri Lanka probably for a week or so. I will bring some copies for anybody, cheap copies. Yeah. But you can still use the PDF version,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions, comments?
I have one question because I wanted to read a bit of Dhamma in English, and I was wondering whether the Bhikkhu Bodhi, in the Buddha's words, an anthology of discourses from the Pali canon. Did you hear about this one?
Yeah, I think it's a good book. I mean, Bhikkhu Bodhi is, I think rated as, the best canon translator. But only thing is, there are certain crucial things, like I said, translating Pali is never easy. I mean, there are so. I mean, I send you. I'll show you my comments about Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation. I mean, they are pretty excellent, really good. I mean, even Thanissaro's, he has translated almost everything. If you go to Insight, isn't it? Yeah. Thanissaro, Bhikkhu Bodhi. I think even Sujato is not that bad. Yeah, I would actually go for Bhikkhu Bodhi because he is very very thorough. But with those reservations, yeah. Okay, folks. Good to see you, and hope to see you soon next week. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, drop me an email. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah. So who is going to do a little blessing to end the course?
I don't know about a blessing, but I've just quickly looked up. You can buy a copy of that for £4 and 2p. A copy of that book. I just Googled it.
Okay. Oh, excellent. That's not bad at all. Yeah. Yeah. So excellent. Somebody would like to do, I mean, the Sabbapapa Sakaranam would be the really good stanza to chant and end the session. Yeah, who wants to do that? Yeah, Arthamitra.
Sabbapapa Sakaranam Kusala Sopasampada Sachita Paryodapana Etang Bhutana Sasanam.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Excellent. All right, folks. Look after yourself. See you next Tuesday.